You got me up against the wall, Amanda. I'm pinned. I have nowhere to go. But just to
go there.
Go.
Look.
To the left.
Look around to the corner.
Exit stage left.
Go right there. Go home.
Go to your box. Go home.
Go home. Just go home, Randy.
Whew.
God.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And we're going to talk about maintenance today. We're going to talk about maintaining your home, and I'm going to show you some of the probably the problematic places in your home that you need to keep an eye on. Even though we try to do all we can to, make these homes last forever, you have to maintain them. I think the only home in here, Amanda, are these ESPs that you probably don't have to worry about.
They're the less maintenance.
They're
like right there.
Way less maintenance.
There's the ESP. Yes.
Yeah. And I'll point the difference out. And I'm not putting the ESP over the stick frame. Look at this. This isn't a gorgeous home.
Another gorgeous home. What's the matter with you?
Man, so this isn't a gorgeous home. And over there's an ESP. Looks like a tin can.
You ain't got a lick of sense.
None.
I swear.
Like a daddy.
What? A gorgeous.
Like a gorgeous.
Everything is a gorgeous.
So.
Well, the one thing about when I dust, which is rare, okay, at my house.
Yeah.
You put pledge, or you put stuff on your, Old English, or you put something on your wood to protect it, to keep it from low scratches and different things about your wood to preserve it, blah, 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 keep it.
Hey, come on. What are you saying?
Just like leather and stuff like that. These were living, breathing things. So leather was once alive. Trees were once alive. So it's different than a, metal.
Steel. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And
makes it a gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous home. So this is a gorgeous home. Let me show you some areas that we're still going to. I've walked out here today, looked at it, and I said, hey, there's some areas we need to take care of to prevent long-term damage, leaks, and stuff that's going on. And the reason is we do have a customer that has contacted us. The home is probably 5 years old.
It is 5 years old.
And they have ran into some water damage. Look at that. That is a water damage, and I'm sure she doesn't mind me. I'm not going to say her name or anything.
This is at the front door.
This is at the front door. So this is the plywood. It's leaked behind the trim. You can see it under here. 5 years old. This shouldn't have happened. Okay, and I'm going to show you other pictures of how we built this home, how we built it, what we tried to do to prevent any of this, and then I want to show you what you all can do. This is the inside. They tore up the inside of the floor.
As you walk in the door.
Yeah, so this is a subfloor. They tore out the floor. You can see water came in. So let me point out, I'm going to go back to these pictures and show you what we had done to prevent this, what you have to do to prevent this, and it's a team effort to make all this happen. All right. So.
And also mention what you shared with me about Tom and his home.
And I will. Yep. So on this house here, just got the siding. Our biggest problem, the number one problem of every home is water. Oh, me.
I got that wrong. I'm sorry.
She pointed at me.
I thought I knew the answer.
Is water, agua. Okay. I love agua. I love swimming in it and surfing in it and doing everything in it.
I love drinking it.
Bathing in it, showering
it's
in
so
it,
refreshing.
lathering my body in it.
All right, all right.
But water will destroy a house. So this particular home did not have gutters. It was that long ago that we didn't put gutters on a home. And since then, we do now put gutters on a home. So look straight up, Amanda, and see the red gutter up on there. What happens is there's no soffit, there's no overhang. So the water is like mobile homes. The water just comes down, and I haven't seen very many tiny homes that have gutters. All right, we came out, we designed our own gutter. Right. So now that water just runs down this wall, runs down the whole wall. Now, if you've got a window here, like this window right there. So the top of that window right there, what's behind that window? All right, we usually put a little awning across that window to keep water from going in behind it.
I see the place where the chinking goes.
Yeah.
Like a space.
And there's a space there, and I don't like it. So we need to prevent water from going behind that window. Up there, the trim is butted up to the fascia board, which is real tight and done. This one doesn't, because you got this pretty trim on here, and it has to be waterproofed right behind it. And we usually put a little wood awning over top of the windows and doors to prevent that, okay? Any water that would blow. Now, think about this. If we didn't have gutters, all the water off the roof would run over that window and sit on the sill, then run over the sill, get on the back of that trim, then back, and it would just, it's gonna find a spot. This is not a submarine, all right? It is gonna leak. If you put this in the water, you know water's gonna come in the house, right?
Of course.
If you sink it under the ocean, water's gonna go in.
Yeah, it's not watertight.
It's not. So, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna try to do and what we try to do over and over to try to prevent water damage, but there's things that you have to do, all right? So, log siding. This is a flat log siding. It has a chink joint in it. Normally, let me show you this down here. This is a corner, okay? So we put corners on first, and then we run our siding into the corner, okay? And you see how it, can you show up that real nice? See how it's nice and tight? And we got caulk all along that right there. And then this sickened stain, as you guys can see the sheen on it, really protects that wood, because that water just runs right off of that house, right? That's really good waterproofing. Now, let me back up Amanda here. And the way we have done these windows is we install these windows. First of all, let's go over here. Let me show you how it really works.
Okay.
That sun's bright.
It is very bright.
All right, so this is a nail flange.
Good morning.
So this is a nail flange right here. So I know this is NESP, but think about this being plywood.
Look what he just got.
Did he get a treat?
I take care of that dog.
Spoiled rotten.
He's a nice dog.
What's the dog's name?
Ace.
Ace. I take care of him every day. My dog's good because you know why? I don't want to get bit.
So you carry a lot of them for a lot of dogs.
Look at there.
You like
get
him,
a
huh?
treat every day.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I won't bite him then.
I caught that.
Yeah.
Isn't that
So
cute?
let's say this is a plywood regular stick built
Yeah.
house. You put the nail flange on here, and that's what we caulk behind
Thank
that.
you.
So we caulk behind that, put it on that, and then we put window tape flashing on that. On a log-sided house, we'll run our log siding to the window. We do it two different ways. We'll trim this with a 1x, butt our siding to the 1x, and then we cap it with a decorative window trim like the live edge.
Right, okay.
Let's just say we just put window tape and I run my log siding, flat log siding, just to the butt to the window, right? And then I cap over top of that with our decorative live edge trim. All right, that groove that we have, and let's go back over here and I'll show you this groove. And you guys are, I'm sure you're way ahead of me in this and already know what I'm going to talk about. But this groove, even though it's sloped, that's a sloped, water will come off. It's not a square edge.
Right.
Water can get back inside there. Okay, now it can't really go anywhere because I got it butted up to the window. But to do that, you'd have to super squirt caulk and stuff in there because it's got to be like a dam.
Right.
But water could get in there and sit on this. It's a potential waterproof problem. So what we want to do is we want to prevent that water from going back inside there. Now, a couple different ways. If I would have done my window trim like my corners and capped them and it butt to them, then it would prevent that. I like this trim being out on top of this.
I do too. It looks good.
It looks nice, but it presents a problem. Because it's curvy, I can't cut my siding to match my window trim. So I put it on top of it. But I've got this gap now I've got to contend with.
But if it would have been chinked, there wouldn't have been any issues.
And that's what we will do. We can put some chinking just in this area.
Just the back, yeah.
Just chinking, or we've got this really good log caulk that we put. You can actually you have to stop the water from going inside of these and above that window like we first talked about.
And I'm sure it's the same color.
Yeah,
or-ish.
that's the color is this right here
Yeah.
of this caulk that we use. And it's actually made for log homes.
Yeah.
Beautifully
Beautiful.
durable.
Don't that look good? The sheen on it and everything. Everything looks nice.
Yeah, it's good and durable.
Okay.
All right. Another thing is, you know, when you're staining your own home, you see all these nails and stuff. It's a potential place that if you don't get enough stain, enough stuff inside here, that it's going to lay in there years later, and it could make marks on your siding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this one. I want to show this one that's kind of like deeper in. Then what do you do?
Yeah, see, water could potentially sit in there. That's from a nail gun.
Yeah.
You know, we try to put these on flush, right there.
That
Like
one's
this
flush.
is flush.
Yeah.
And that's, believe it or not, think about every single nail needing to be paid attention to. All right.
So they put this Sickens on 3 times. So now what would you do? Does that protect that for a while, or what
It's
happens?
good. Homeowner needs to keep track of these nails right here.
I would probably go over the nails myself and then just caulk like those.
Well, if
right?
you caulk them, it's on a flat surface.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to stick out. You're
Just
never
stick
going to
out.
get caulked to actually match that
Match.
perfect. You're not going to do it.
Yeah, I see
All
what
right.
you're saying.
The other trouble, excuse me, the other troubled area that we're looking at here, okay, so we're going to caulk this. We're not done caulking, so we're going to caulk along the trim and the jamb of this door. All right? Okay, so we got a situation here where we have a hinge. So this hinge, we can only get the caulk down to the top of that hinge.
Right.
And then start here and go. So now we've got a problem in between that hinge and that wood, not getting any waterproofing because the door's going to open and you can't put caulk right on top of a hinge. And then we're going to go down in here. You see all the things that you have to contend with?
Right.
So do we pull all the hinges off and the doors and make a good line of caulk? We're going to have to make it right. So then you got the same situation here that you need to caulk along the side.
Right.
So where there's a problem is you have a door jamb, okay? That's the board that's holding that door up. There's a jamb right here. Well, anywhere, 2 pieces of wood come together is a problem, a potential problem.
Potential problem.
There's a hole there. You got to get, and if you're going to use any kind of adhesive, caulk or anything, it is going to fail eventually.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a solid wood, something's going to fail. So what we do, and you guys do, and everybody does, and that's why there's remodelers and people come back and redo homes after they've been older, and they tear out doors and floors and repair them, right? It's just part of it. But to prevent that long-term, if you can, as a homeowner, this is a troublesome place. Now, you can't pull your hinges off every time you're going to do it.
Right.
So just keep an eye on this caulk
Right.
all along the top, the bottoms, and everything. And what I wanted to mention was on this particular picture, it doesn't mean that that's what's happened
Let's
here.
get the sun to just show
You
that.
see that?
There we go now.
So this particular picture, I want to get your shadow on it. Here's the bottom of the door on the inside. Here's the bottom of the door on the inside. And you can see water's been underneath that floor. Okay? So and she said there's no water in the house that they can see, but the water came in from that jamb. Right in here is where that water came in. All right? Now water they have a deck out there. Water potentially could have, even if this was flashed, it could come underneath the flashing and come in the house.
Right.
So when you build a deck, I know in the northern climates where they have a lot of snow, all right, here in the south, we'll build a deck right up to the subfloor, this threshold, and you just no step. In the northern climates, they'll always have the deck is always, I think, a minimum of 4 inches below the door threshold.
How come?
Snow piling up in here,
Oh, I see.
melting, going underneath there, leaking and getting into the house.
Because you get more snow.
Snow.
I see.
Yes. So now, if you have a covered porch, then build your deck underneath your threshold, right? This is a water problem. So Tom pointed out after looking at this picture that his home above just 2 years old,
Brand new.
brand new house, 2 years old, already has that problem.
Yeah.
He removed his subfloor, he could see it was getting wet, so he had to go on the outside of the house and he tore off his trim. He waterproofed it. He said it was caulked and it was good.
Yeah.
He said, but the rain was beating on that door.
Yeah.
There's no cover over that door.
Oh.
And so the rain was beating on that door. So that's when, like this door, this is a French door. Water can blow under, even though it's got weatherproofing, it's gonna rot, it's gonna crack, something's gonna happen. This is not a submarine. It's gonna, if it gets a howling wind or it gets this is a all this is a potential maintenance problem in the
Right.
future. It is going to be one.
Well, and two, isn't any opening a window, a
Always.
door, something, a doggy door?
Yes.
Things like that.
All right, this plug. You see this plug? You see this got this rubber around it?
Right.
So it's a really good seal. And you got these screws in here that tighten it up against the wood.
Right.
But you got to keep an eye on that
Got to
sucker.
keep an eye on it. Right.
Just keep an eye on everything. These two pieces of wood, all right, they're cut on a 45 to keep that. If it does separate a little bit, it's got on a 45 to make it look nice. But we put a piece of flashing behind it that overlaps on this one. You got to keep an eye on stuff.
Right.
You have to, always. Windows, doors, openings. What we have learned over the years, and I'll show you a little bit more of these pictures. And Tom and I were watching these, like, where did we go wrong on this? We've changed a few things. Structurally, we have some questions because we can't see if it was done, how the siding was put up, and that may have posed a problem.
Right.
But what I think is that is our gutters.
Look at Lucas. Hey, Lucas.
What's up, guys?
Just chilling, man.
Lucas cracks me up, man.
And but we put gutters on them now to prevent, I bet you 80-90% of this.
Sure.
It really is. The amount of wind that blows on this door is going to be, of course, down here more than up there.
Well, and two, I want to bring up that a couple of, well, it's probably been 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks ago now, whenever you were at your mom's, and we were on the phone, and you said the rain was going sideways.
Yes.
So there's nothing that prevents something like that, and it did it for a long time, and that's water that gets in there at where you wouldn't have normally been getting rain. It usually comes down. It was coming sideways.
Yep.
So, and that happened twice here. Twice here.
Yes.
So that wasn't expected.
Nope. And it's not going to happen a lot.
Right.
What the part is just the constant rain.
Yes.
And if you didn't have gutters, man, that water would just
Oh.
constantly, it would be constantly here. What, 3-4 times a month?
Sure.
Constantly, you know?
Well, that's what cracked years ago. It's what cracked my foundation on my
Yes,
house.
yeah. Water cracked your entire foundation. Her whole wall, which was supposed to be vertically perfect, was buckled in like that. You could stick your whole hand in between the mortar joints of her block
Yes.
because the water was not channeled away from the house
Right.
with the gutters, and it went down into her crawl space and her foundation.
Yep.
And it just filled full of water. Massive weight just pushed her foundation
Yeah.
in. It all had to be completely redug out. So,
Hey, Chuck.
hey, let me.
What's going on?
I need to check on that contract.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'll be back.
All right. Good. Yeah, feel that breeze?
Oh,
All right, we're back, everybody. Wanted to show you the house behind me. There's some pros and cons here. What we're talking about maintenance today. So we just wanted to come back and we picked out a few homes. We're on the beach property right now. This is our beach constructed
this
community.
Laguna?
Pardon me?
is this Laguna?
Yep, this is Laguna. So this is a home that's been built several years now. We painted it probably 5 times, all right? So as you can see, these strips are still moving. This wood is still moving. It'll move back and forth, back and forth. We've caulked it, we've painted it, we've touched it, we've done a lot of stuff to this house. You can see the caulk that's in it. The wood is shrunk, leaving some of those marks. That can be a potential water problem. Behind there, because you're on the board and bat, and the old board and bat, and we've got boards, okay, 2 full boards, and and then there's a strip over that crack, right? Well, if that moves back and forth, allows any water to go in there. Now, the amount of water that go in there is going to be minimal because you don't have blowing wind like we just was talking about constantly on a house. Up here, you can see the little awning that we have. I don't have a pointer, but that's a little awning right there above that window. So any water that'll hit the house and run down over that window, it won't get behind the window or lay on the flat part of that window sill or the window trim, okay? All these windows have got little ledges, plus it's got a gutter over top of it. So the only really major thing on here is the wood itself. And we talked about this about 3 or 4 weeks ago about our warranty on natural wood when we paint it. You can see that this is sap, okay? So the sap behind that has pushed that, it can't stick, right? And we've put sealer on it, other things. Now we've learned some other products since this has been done. We've learned some more products that can be used, but now we're doing them. We didn't know then. That's like, you know, when they built cars. Those cars are done and they're better now than they were in the 60s. It's because of science and things they've learned, you know. Overall, I think our homes are 95% what they were when we first started. It's just the little products of adhesives and things. We still flash for lumber, for weather and water and the awnings that we put. Our biggest proponent to help with this is our gutters. Let me show you one other troubled spot, a potential troubled spot on these homes are the tongue boxes, okay? So this tongue box, of course the door's been removed, so we're gonna replace the door. All right, years ago when we built this house, this is a tongue box, it's got a rubber roof on it, it's got a termination strip. The rubber goes up underneath this trim, it goes over here, so the water can hit here, won't go up underneath that. This trim, as you can see, is cut on a 45. It's pushed up against that. It's silicone. It's nice. It's tight and everything. Where is it not tight at? And that's why this door's gone. Is because when this door was built, it's built real pretty, fits right underneath these slats. Everything looks great, right? But what happens is this is a board. And when rain hits this, it goes on top of that board, falls in behind, and you can see these screws are now rusted, right? See that, how they're rusted? Because water got into that crack on top of this board, and we have to replace the door. If you have a tongue box like this, you need to keep track of it. You need to change it. You need to boost some stuff. We've learned that we can't build a tongue box like this anymore. So what we do is we either take this part of the roof and we bring it out about 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches. We'll try to bring it out like this, and that keeps a lot of the wind and rain, probably 90% of it or better, from hitting on top of that door and going in behind that door. You can also put an awning over the door, okay, that would come out and slope it and underneath this roof. So if you don't have this, you don't want to take this off, and you have one of our homes, you could actually take this trim off and put you an awning that would shoot out over that. Okay, anything to go over that door. These doors, that's why when we charge for tongue boxes, they're hard to build, there's a lot to them, and it's hard to waterproof. Unless you buy a real door, that's a metal door, and it's got a weather strip around it, and it's got the sealant and everything like you buy a regular built door, and it has all the mechanism. This is just a wood door that butts up against a piece of wood here. It's not made like a regular door when you open with your key and you walk in your house. It's got a threshold. It's got a, if we got into that, these boxes would be way even more of what they are now. So what we've learned is just extend this out or put a sill over it, and it really prevents 95% of the problem with the water, okay? So if you do have a box like this, look at it. Make sure you look at all the gaps where we were saying earlier, where any two boards come together, you've got to maintain, keep an eye on those things. It's not a lot of work. It becomes a lot of work if you just buy the house and you walk off from it, and 4 years later you look at it. You've got to keep looking at your home all the time. When the snow hits and it's piled up against your door, get it away from there. Look at it. When it starts melting, it's going somewhere. Water, water, water. I was looking at this house behind us, and I wanted to show you. Now this is a wood home. Now get Amanda out of the sun. Okay, so it's a wood home. You can see what we trimmed out the windows first, and then we butted the siding to the window trim. Okay, so you can run a caulk around that. You can see underneath here how it's nice and caulked. But I see a little small hole right here, you know. There's a little bitty one right up in here. And then right here, Amanda, look at the wood. I'm just gonna show you. See how this wood, it's nice and tight, but see how it's moved a little bit underneath, and the water's gonna go back up underneath there. It's not gonna do that. And we've got caulk coming down here, right? But you just have to keep track of, if you were a raindrop, where would you go? All right, a raindrop.
Yeah.
And then like right here, okay, this is a sill. This is a flat piece of wood. If that rain comes on here and sits over and over and over and over and over and over, it's gonna end up rotting this out. So what we try to do is, we have started now putting a 45-degree angle or any kind of a slope on that, so that water doesn't sit on any flat surface. But the majority of the whole preventative are gutters, you know? Mm-hmm. Like those cargo doors, I'm looking at them right there. You know, those cargo doors are not part of the home. It's not gonna they're gonna get gray and weathered if she leaves them open like that. Mm-hmm. And that's gonna be like that, and that's fine. It's not gonna make the house leak, but it will you know, discolor because the water will just destroy the doors, the wood on the doors, you know. You got any questions, Mamba?
Mama.
Mamba?
No, the only thing is that I don't think that we paint anymore. Is that one of the things we only stain and we only do LP siding? Or
Well, if
wood?
we try not to paint it all, but if we do paint, it is, we can't hardly warranty it. That's what we said. We don't want to warranty it. Let me look at this other tongue box up here. This is an LP siding tongue box. LP siding is really good because it doesn't rot. It won't, you know, water can get it to it and it won't rot. All right. Let's see what this is. This is Gloria's house, right? No? This house right here. Now we've done these a little bit different. So that door is inset. It's not, the door frame doesn't smack up against the trim. Okay, so that keeps that nice and sleek, and it keeps it from rain from coming inside of it. So that's another way of framing your door if you have a tongue box.
It is way hotter than what I thought it was out here today.
It's warm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a tongue box, and it really needs a ledge over it. You can always see it getting gray on that. Let me just point that out. So that's definitely water can get right back inside that thing, you know. So it actually needs a sill across that coming down to prevent when that water runs, it's going to run right off here, run down. I don't know if they're home or not. It's nice and dry. She's got her stuff in here. We've got some waterproofing on here. This, I'm talking over the course of 5, 6, 10 years, that's probably going to pose a problem. You can see right here. So this wood butts up against that. And we need to put an awning right across that to make that happen. So you guys, can you imagine, you're the owner of this company, and I'm coming around here critiquing my builds, right? So there's one that I love these. This is what we're going to do. We need to still stucco this for Mishka. Now, this is made out of the foam panels, all right? So what we've done is we put this trim all the way around this, and it has a flange that prevents water from going in, and the bottom's made out of metal, the front's made out of metal, the doors are made out of metal, everything's, and the doors sets in instead of setting on top. Prevents a lot of water. This is where we're trying to get into. She let us use this to see if this is a good way of doing tongue boxes. So we need to get back over here. We're going to finish it up and stucco it, and we're trying to figure out if it's a brown stucco to match her metal underneath there too, you know. But that's what we're trying to do, is come up with a tongue box that is maintenance free, quick to build, and it'll last a long time, even in a lot of the weather, you know. We just put gutters on Michelle's house. She had I couldn't find a leak. I looked and looked. She said she had water coming in her house on her wall. And it didn't have gutters. We don't really put gutters on containers. Hey. All right. This is not maintenance on our video that we're showing, but this is a big flat spot. We'd like to put a future lodge here. And
just check your sound. I'm sorry.
let me check my sound, everybody. Toda body.
Stop.
That's my sound check.
You do that every time, the same words every time.
Hey, so this is a flat area. We're going to put a lodge here,
gosh.
hopefully eventually one day. But right now we're going to put gravel in here, and we're going to put we're going to park our models on here for sales. We're going to put a little bit of an office over here. Got a water, power, and sewer, so they can use the restroom, check in. That way anybody that comes in wants to see our homes. And we'll probably have homes there. Of course, we don't have models, so we use your homes, customers' homes, to park up here until they're ready to go. That way people comes by and they can really admire your home, your design, and it gives an idea of what we can do. So
This is a big area. This is going to be really nice once it's a lodge.
This is nice. Yeah, I don't really know the dimensions on it, but it's got to be at least 150 by 150 here.
Yeah, it's
yep.
very
So we'll have parking for the customers, parking for the homes, an office, And
And
then when
everyone will know where to come in. When you come in the gate right there, you're going to know, boom, you're right
there'll be a sign right there. Welcome to Tiny Town, USA.
here.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a ride.
Okay.
Come on.
And Tim, he's over. He's taking care of Curtis. I just saw him over there.
Oh, good. All right. So this is the prairie over here. We have 50 home sites on the prairie. We've been putting some straw on, some grass. Hopefully get a little more rain.
Yeah. Oh, he's heading to the pond.
Yeah, I am too. Look how pretty.
Look at him.
Look at that. Look at that water, man. It looks like the Caribbean, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, the only thing good about water is drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Helps plants grow.
Watch him look. He knows you're doing something.
Yeah, helps plants grow. And look at me. I love water.
What's he doing, Ace?
What am I doing, Ace? How muddy is it, buddy? Look, man, look at squash. Squash. Ooh, it feels so good. I love water. Get it, boy. Go get it. Get him, Ace. Let's get that stuff out of
I
there.
don't know what to get.
Look how clean. Yeah. But water is wonderful, and I'm out here to show you. And I know you guys know this. I love water. I love this pond. We're going to build this on here. When it rains, it makes everything grow. The only thing it doesn't do, it doesn't make your house live any longer. It actually cuts it down in the lifespan, you know? So with your help and with us trying to do all that we can and checking our homes before they leave, look at him swimming.
Look at him swimming. Good job,
Hopefully
Ace.
your house will stay a lot longer. The only thing that'll bring it down is water. That's the only thing. Look at him. This is rainwater.
Beautiful.
Now we're within probably 300 feet of the river. So we do, when we dig down, we do get some river water that comes up underneath the ground and fills this thing up. Look at my toes, Manders.
Let me see. Oh, yeah.
So, so we do, it's kind of a little bit of a natural, it's not a spring, but we got some natural water underneath here, everybody. So
Now,
look how
Tom
pretty
just-
that is.
Tom just bought, you all just bought a pump. What is that for
He
the
wants
other
to,
pond?
we want to aerate the pond so
Okay.
we can put some fish in it and give them some oxygen and kind of get some fish going in there.
So what do you, will you walk it out there? You'll take the pump out there and it's to electricity, like you plug it up?
I haven't even looked at it. I know there's got an air line that goes to it. It pumps,
Okay.
and the actual pump will be on the ground.
Oh,
And we
okay.
run a conduit to the pump, and it goes and it's submerged, and it just adds bubbles to the
Ooh,
water.
cool.
Yeah. But this here, I think this pond's going to be a little bit more flow of water,
Okay.
because that's really runoff water and it's not as deep.
I see.
This one, the water, the river is like right on the other side of those
Yeah.
trees, you know, and on the other side of that railroad. But look how pretty and green that is,
oh,
man.
it's beautiful. And that's right on the Milligan Mile.
Yep, you walk past it. We haven't finished this pond. As you can see how that point that goes out?
Yes.
Okay, so we haven't dug it. What I want to do is leave that out there as an island. And then we're going to dig all the way around here, and I want to make it look kind of just different shape.
Yes.
And then I want to I'd like to put a big tower on that island and put a tiny house up in the sky.
Beautiful.
So I think it would be a really good vantage point from up there.
That is really cool.
So much to do here. We got like all this prairie, planting trees, and I like to put I'd love to come up with some big old buffalo carvings or some kind of stuff because it's the prairie, you
Now,
know?
I have a question for the people who are going on the prairie. I'm sure they're wondering, how do you start the wire? Where will the wire start? What houses will be first? Will you do it all at once and they get to come on? Or are you going to do it in rows? How are you
Well, I know we
planning?
walked through this process before and how it goes from the transformer to
Yes.
your lot. There's no significant way. We hope the whole thing can get done in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we're waiting on our wire. We just got all our transformer boxes in and all that stuff. So once we get it in, we've already scheduled the guys to get on it. So we're hoping in 2 weeks we can get it all done. They come and inspect it and done. So once they start, if it takes us 2 weeks, I'm going to say it's going to take probably a month
Yeah,
if not more. And we're at the mercy of the state.
of course.
They got to come and inspect it, and then the local electric company, Newport Utilities, then they've got a schedule coming out, setting the transformers and hooking everything up. So 50 lots is a lot. These guys are
It
not used to
is.
that kind of
Volume.
workload. Yeah, volume in this county, you know. He
Yeah,
can
we've
swim
kept
all
him
day.
busy. Look how much. Look at him swimming out there.
Good boy. Well, this is who we are, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this helps a little bit in the maintenance of homes that you own from us or in from competitors, anybody, even your own personal home that you live in. And showing how we build and how we're learning and how we just tell you this is what we've learned and this is what we're trying to do to be better, you know. So I'm trying to bring everything to you and bring it to your attention. All right, I'm out. I'm done. I got to go back to work. Get my shoes on.
Are you going back in the water?
I got my muddy toes. I can't get anywhere and wash off my toes, put my shoes and socks back on.
Okay.
So I love water. I was thinking about it today. I went over there and seen Bryce and man, got to see the ocean and all that stuff. And we need water. It's just we got to really build. And it's hard to build with all these natural materials when you know water's going to destroy them.
Yeah.
So it's a big challenge in what we do. And it can be costly on your all's part and ours to replace some of these damaged things that could happen. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to go get my mind shut off and go to something else. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. And we want to show you what's going on. We've got a big crew. We got a lot of new guys. I want to introduce you to them. I want to show you how to build an ESP panel home. I'm going to show you how we put them together, how we measure them out, how we set the walls up, the floor system. Somebody said, hey, do you insulate your floors? Of course we do. And we showed a lot, but we'd like to show you again. That's why we like to do these videos. We'll show them over and over and over a lot of things, procedures, and how we do things. There's also different ways of building that are lightweight, more costly, less costly, right? Economical, and hopefully waterproof.
And two, you know, we've finished up. They're testing it. I think they're pulling it over for testing today at 8x24. That's Burris's home, the ESP.
Yep.
And then also Harris, the first 10x20 is done.
Yep.
So it's done, and we can tour it as well tomorrow.
And we got 4 homes by the end of next week coming home from the Amish. Talked to them. I talked to Miss Allen today. Her house is coming in Friday. We got
McBee came last night.
Yep. So we got and so Allen will come in. I can't remember. Ma Hollings is coming in. Watson's will be coming in.
Yeah, we got a lot of them coming back.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a great day. How do you sign off? Oh, subscribe, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. We're trying to get 100,000 subscribers. As soon as we do, I'm gonna give a house away. All right.
We may make it.
All right.
All
Bye.
right.